I'm Patrick Debois. I'm mostly known for the person who kind of started DevOps in general. And in my daily life, I'm somewhere between engineering and business and a creative person. Okay, so the way I got to DevOps was there was actually no grand plan. I think it was a zeitgeist where Agile was kind of building up in a way that they were putting the pressure on production, and they had this cool way of collaborating with each other and working. Then there was a cloud that was able to kind of, a lot more management of systems that needed to be done. And I was kind of envious of the Agile people that they were so having fun again in their job. And I said, like, how can we translate this into operations? Initially, we kind of discussed the thing about Agile operations, but I found that I was only being in one corner. There was like collaboration in each part, but not across the parts. And then I thought about, like, I saw a presentation of working together, like the people at Etsy were doing. And I said, okay, it's actually developers and operations working together, so let's do a conference about this and call it DevOps Days. So that was the only plan. There was no other plan about the name. So. Well, I think we've been now 5 years into DevOps. We've gone from the early adopters to now having the enterprises aboard. I'm seeing a lot of people who are heavily invested in DevOps, and they're trying to put a stake into the ground and saying, well, DevOps is here to stay, which is obvious for them. For me personally, I believe that after 5 years, DevOps was a step up for a next thing. I don't know what the next thing is specifically going to be, but we know it's going to be about feedback, collaboration, and larger scale anyway. I think for me, if you boil everything down to one thing, it's about getting faster and better feedback. The methodology, I don't think there is a specific methodology, but more of a mindset in a way that you seek out that feedback. For example, last year I worked in TV broadcast stations with producers and directors. They don't talk about anything about technology, but what you try to do there is how fast can we get feedback from the audience? How fast can we adjust our show? How fast can we adapt our technicians? And so it's the same thing, like if you want to improve yourself, you need to get that feedback, and the faster you get the feedback and the better, so the quality of your feedback is important. And I think for the CEO, it's important that they kind of support that process, that within their company they get the feedback and it's not just what they want to hear. Well, I think 2 years ago I gave a presentation about the future of DevOps, and I think it has been a very useful idea, but again, it will be something that will be built upon. So what I've seen over the 5 years is that the audience kind of wants a mantra, like we do this, we do that, and we're DevOps. And I've always went against it by saying, okay, we're doing this, but it's not because somebody does something else that we shouldn't think that's not DevOps. Like, oh, you're writing shell scripts, oh, you're not DevOps because you need a configuration management. And I've been specifically trying to keep the discussion open and not trying to repeat the same thing. But obviously, if you've invested in DevOps, you want to repeat the same thing because it's important. But for me, I would love to explore like feedback loops with HR more, or other fields like finance, or how do we all fit together. And I think that means we have to kill maybe the common view on DevOps definition versus one to break it again and then go to the next definition. Yeah. I think there's a deep relationship which is going to only increase between the tools and the culture. There's people who say, well, you know, there is no relationship. I don't agree with that. There is a simple example when medicine invented the stethoscope. That allowed the doctor, you know, to listen into new problems. Like otherwise, he had to ask a lot of questions to you. The danger is that new doctors, they often don't take the time to listen to your problems. They only take the stethoscope and try to use that tool. And it's the same within IT. If you're just going to use a tool and you're like not seeing what's around you and kind of know why you're using it, you're going to make the same mistake. Yeah. I think don't be afraid to talk about your situation. And by doing so, you're sharing that and you will get feedback. So one of the things here at DevOpsDays is like everybody can tell their own story, and that's how we learn as an industry. And that I encourage you to share that. If you think it's not like something super strange or like something everybody wants to know, you know, people can learn from you, and that's important, sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.